Penny. Penny.
Yeah.
When we had the Rotary meetings here, did they have a flag in the closet somewhere we brought out?
We did.
We brought the flag. And it went with us to the new. Hey, I lost a little flag.
Yeah, Jamie was in charge of the little flag. Jamie, where's the flag?
Actually, it's gonna pick it up and take it over. I think that'll suffice.
We'll have to.
Here we go.
Call somebody to go get one out of the classroom. John Daniel was up there.
You got the memo.
Hey, Matt, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Sounds funny. Yes, that.
John's entertained. Call to order the October 10th, 2023 City Council meeting. I myself and everybody else silence your cell phones. Have an open prayer and pledge of allegiance to Mr. Daniel, take us to prayer.
Our Father, we come to you tonight just praising you for who you are, for the way you work in the lives of people, and the way you manage things and take care of things and operate. We thank you. We know we can trust you, Lord. When everything else is falling apart, we can trust you. We may not understand it, but we trust you to lead us forward. So tonight I ask that you be with this council, that we could conduct business for the city of Perry in a professional manner, and that we make the best decisions for the citizens. In Christ's name I pray.
Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Go, please, ma'am.
Councilman Grimes,
Yes.
Councilman Ranger, Councilman Football, Councilman Fiction.
Okay, approval of items on the consent agenda. Taking the question of the general public, any person wishes to address the council regarding non-agenda items, give 5 minutes. Whereas groups or delegations will be given 10 minutes for discussion. Anyone propose for that discussion?
Forward. So we got Bud Helm with us tonight. I've given you a slow drawing here. Everyone where what the hurricane is building and business. He's got to make some decisions as to how he's going to build back. And some of the area that we can help him. If you look where I got a number 1, that's already a city street, dead ends into the railroad track that is fenced for security. Council told him who knows when, so it's already closed. Faulkner Street, majority of the traffic on Faulkner Street is at Cashway. So if we were to close at Homer J, that would give him the, and by say close, I mean whatever our policy is to dispose of property. That would give him that area to work with to design and plan a building. I told him, first thing would be line locations, see where and what utilities may be there. So that's kind of the request right now, is to see what we can do. See the lines are, whether he can build over it or just use it.
you wanna build a building across it, or just,
Not necessarily, if I'm not, I would like to be able to build up to it. But we have setbacks now,
right?
we have stayed back a certain, especially the street behind our school. The number one he's talking about, that would give me an extra 30, 40 feet to add to my building coming where it is now. I would like to build a substantial building back, but
Can you get a special exception to do that, or or is it hard? Set rules on
That
it?
section of road's been closed and fenced, and y'all been using it anyway for.
right,
Yeah.
right, well,
And
we
yeah.
were interested if y'all would help me. Appraise it, figure out what it's worth, and buy it from you. I don't wanna build over anything that's got utility, you know,
Well, there's a sewer main right behind your back door.
right?
Yeah, and it runs across the railroad track, and there's a little few houses there it feeds, not many, but that would be an issue.
When you say behind the store, behind the second part of Cashway, like with
In the actual road.
the road one that he has marked on here?
We've had it fenced off for 20 years.
So does Faulkner have anything?
I'm showing we have on Homer J, water, and possibly gas.
Off of the Faulkner anything?
Right behind this.
Right behind
Yeah.
Homer J.
On, yeah.
We're not going to Homer J, there's two. I think he said Homer J mistaken. Okay.
That's why I was
You're talking
asking.
about
Which, there's
I
three
mean,
buildings,
yeah,
which
Faulkner.
one is-
Yeah,
Yeah.
number
That's
one
good.
is where the sewer main is at.
Okay, so number one on the map provided by Councilman Brown. There's a sewer line.
We would be interested in number one and number
These
two.
people.
Well, you've already done number one,
Not formally. Not formal.
And would the gas and water be behind the second building, or is it also on one?
I don't know about water, I know the sewer is, and the issue would be if you put anything on top of it. I mean, if it stays a road,
Well. As long as you don't build on top.
sir. Well, an issue would be kind of how close you get to it, if there's ever damage to it, it needs to be dug up, excavated.
Yeah.
You know, that,
That's all taken care of.
We would need to spell on the road, right?
No,
There's a manhole
Maybe an easement.
right in the middle of Faulkner. In the area you want to shut that. road.
Where
The
the
manhole is actually, you see where the dotted line is between the two,
I don't have your drawing.
it's right there,
yeah,
We're looking at actual maps of our lines.
right there.
yeah, the sewer service for your, the addition y'all put in, Heath Simmons running in that manhole. And it kind of runs, at an angle toward Homer J. And, like I said, as long as the city has access to it to clean it, maintain it, to me, it's no issue.
And you're right, most of the traffic there is to Cashway. Either the back lot where you've got the block usually stored or that other warehouse you got.
Right.
What I'm looking at on my map, you have this regular old Google map, I guess you call it, they don't even show that road. Being a road,
Right.
but ain't, I'm talking about the one between the two. Faulkner goes through and connects back to
19.
Faulkner
I mean-
again. So Faulkner kind of takes the job and goes to Duval,
Bacon Street.
Bacon, Duval, Union, Homer J.
Which there's not, but what, two houses there,
I was gonna say, isn't it two
right
houses
there,
like
because
in
all the
that dirt
ones,
road area?
all the ones there on Bacon, they were all down.
Uh-huh.
And,
And there's no sewer in this area here. It goes out here, turns, it goes out Homer J. There's none in this vicinity.
Water, gas, anything.
What about water and gas?
water cuts across the back.
Daniel just said water and gas.
Here's Sean,
Got all the layers on.
Yep.
Yes,
the water goes down Homer Day.
Can we proceed, get line location and see what may or may not be?
It'd be something similar to what the city did with a crib along
Right.
the property. And there's a precedent that's been set.
Right.
For a 30-year-old patient that fell off the porch and now was able to move her leg.
It was kind of, I mean, I understand what you're saying, the proper streets, almost similar nature to the two buildings in the back. Just wanna make sure when you're gonna drill into it.
We've been using it as ours basically.
Yeah.
40 years. Or since 1973.
We had some issues with theft going on your lot there.
We had them on,
So the fence was put up and to help alleviate people.
but most of those low income houses have gone away.
They have.
Yeah. Don't track, don't let, folks don't want to sleep in the.
Yeah, there's technically a street between Cribs and Napa.
Yeah.
Everybody uses it.
Yeah, that's opened up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side of the railroad track, does anybody live in those houses anymore?
Yes, there's two. Joe Clark owns a house and then there's two rental houses. Between Joe Clark and Caddy, two small.
We need to honestly find out if they even utilize that main that runs between your building. If they don't, we could do away with it and you could build there.
I do want.
Utilize the sewer main.
Well, yeah, they could use the street because if nothing really runs down it and there would be no problem just doing away with the line, concreting it, filling it in, if it really has no service through it. And you know, and it also runs on the railroad track too. So, that's an
They
issue.
built over.
Well, the railroad track is probably there before the sewer.
They've been there long. By the time we
Okay.
got
Let us know next time we meet.
Councilmember Burns, you mentioned something that had been done before. And I think the chief said something, but I didn't hear clearly. Was there some testing before to see how deep the lines were? I was just trying to hear what you said.
It was a sale of a piece of property to a local business so they could expand their business.
Okay,
Is what it was, that the city owned it. There was a platted road that actually runs part of
okay, I was thinking about what would need to happen and make sure that any other utilities, I thought maybe there was mention of seeing what else is there.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking
That's
about.
what.
Okay, just want to make sure
it. Yeah,
I'm hearing.
the process would be the same for any property the city deals with, public or private, making sure that hill infrastructure is there that won't be impacted transfer. So,
Right,
but
well,
I'm
I just heard Danielle mention gas and water, even though we've been talking about the sewer line, so I just was making sure that all three would be checked, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they will be. I was just mentioning that there was a transfer of property, something similar to another business, so that there's a precedent has been set that we can't have ways to accomplish it. Or.
You got access to us, all that matters really. Anyway, so, bring it up to next meeting. Exactly.
We should have time to do it. I mean, it might not be very easy to find the sewer. We can't find access to it. We have to do some excavating to really,
So backhoe find it.
Manhole.
yes, sir. Well, the service lines will be, the main will be the problem, service lines.
Yeah.
They connect. If they don't have clean outs on the houses, that'll be the problem.
Next week's the backhoe is the best locator for that. Nice, Darren.
Just don't have to fix it.
Exactly. Anyway, you want to put it on the agenda for the next meeting? Brandon, thank you. Any more?
Thanks slowing y'all down, doing anything we're trying to do now. No, sir. The only thing slowing me down is We'll get there.
That's a big flood, ain't it?
Aside from damage.
We've got we got a good sized claim and it takes a while to get all that done. So, I'm trying to be patient.
I understand. Dealing with it myself, I'm a big sure.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else from the public like to speak?
Do you have anything else I could help you with? Answer 29 minutes left.
What's your official taxway address? And then at
301 West Hampton Springs Avenue. Pine Tree Capital of the South.
Yeah.
Fine boy.
How about a gator?
No.
I propose this is a.
I'm not gonna- Thank you very much.
All right, any bids? Any bids showed up? Any bids? All right, any previous bids? Discussed?
No news.
We're all good. All right, general business, agenda item 6A. Council to discuss Senate funding initiative request for public safety building and take any action if necessary.
When Jamie's been back and forth here for the hurricane and the mill shut down, I think you might get it now.
We need to open the door. And this is first step.
And, we've discussed it for a long time, dual use public safety building. Fire and police. Expansion is gonna be needed if we do add that ladder truck for a bay to house it and store it. We need pull-through, drive-through bays now for fire stations. We don't have that. It's,
Individual base would be good too.
they're backing in off the road.
And you got them 2 deep in one day.
You know, we've had a structural issue, parapet wall at the police department for a long time. We braced it a few years ago, and thank goodness we did. If it had not been for that,
That was a 5-year patch.
yes,
We're in our 5th year.
we're close.
We're close to it.
It did move probably an inch more from the winds, so we
Oh,
have
wow.
definitely got to start moving on that. There is a funding mechanism that we might be able to get this funded through. First part of the process is the council agreeing for start submitting paperwork. I've loosely worked on the grant submission. Submitted it to John. I've requested some assistance from the House and the Senate for a staffer to help us navigate some paperwork. They're gonna send us contacts to help us with that, so, and that, we, concept is to have a backup pantry for public safety, or backup dispatch, a couple other things, and potentially a, community use meeting room, in case we ever have another issue with the council, this place, we can sit for meeting, have other people get that meeting room as well. So it's gotta be designed to build in such a way that room off the rest of the people to access it.
This building fire department is in. It's older than.
It's, we looked at the dates.
1943.
No, it was earlier than that.
1935?
The addition was 43. But it was built, there's some photographs on the wall in the council work of the Perry Pumper, which was a 1918 fire truck that was in front of the fire station. So, it's pushing 100 years old or more.
Everything,
That's awesome.
any changes were made in the same space.
Same footprint, yes. So there was about 10 foot added to one section in the 50s. And that's the biggest addition that's been on that property. Since construction.
It was always bugged me in the back of my mind. 2 deep. Fire bays, and the front truck can't move, the second truck can't move it.
If you have one, so air brakes lock up, you can't move either one of them.
Correct.
Motion
Second.
I can't say.
We got 2 seconds there.
Sorry, let her have it.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Landry,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull.
Yes.
Councilmember Tetra.
Yes. Then 906B, council to continue discussion on policy resolution to take actions necessary.
It's gonna be a short agenda, so I got them all here prepared in front of you. If we can run through them today, get this out of the way, we can find a fight.
That's what the back is.
That's all that are left in that. Y'all remember that list? Okay, so
You did a great job.
when I get hungry, we'll stop.
Hey, man, you hit reduce fund on the doctor. Well, ours on that.
One is the, on my list, is sexual harassment policy.
It'll be,
May 10th, 1994 will be at the top left corner. And it's really small font.
Now, there's actually the formal policy. What's the old?
Yeah.
That's what this policy says. Policy says you adopt a sexual harassment policy as part of the personnel.
And it's there.
Yeah. The second part says you'll read it at the time of hiring, annually, or date of hire thereafter. Right now, we don't do the annual. Date of hire. Either we need to strike that out of this policy, or that's what y'all want to do, we start following.
is there yearly training done on?
Boy manual. On the boy manual, the sexual harassment.
Should be just name the 30-minute.
Yeah.
Should that deal.
I would suggest we amend this policy to say just reviewed annually and not on the date of hire. Nobody's.
So we can set an annual date of training for everybody.
Yeah,
Is that
that's,
in
that's
HR?
what they work for HR.
City have an HR attorney?
You know what?
Attorney.
To the League of Cities, through the League of Cities. Talk to a specialist.
Just whatever their recommendations. I'm guessing they probably, I was thinking once a year, just do 30 minutes to do.
Documented annual training for parts.
Yeah, hold 2 classes, A and B, and you sign up.
Either or.
You go back to work and the other guy has to.
Does it say training or?
It looks like this on the other side. You can have it.
Just sign it.
Sure.
You guys definitely area that's strange.
Leave the same.
Helpful.
Data hire.
Policy. But that's a culture.
Mhm.
Sexual harassment is a culture.
Yeah, it was just pretty. Policy for me probably would be a good thing. I mean, just because it's policy, I mean, I guess the policy's good change, but it's kind of like safety things or anything else. You know, periodically.
Right.
It's easy.
I would suggest we put annually. And on a, just pick a date. You know, somewhere near the beginning of the budget year, maybe. Once budget time rolls around by then, October, you have that triangle in Foster. The date is easy to remember. So have it set.
So I'll amend this to not say annually on the date of hire thereafter, to say annually thereafter.
Oh, Brian, yeah.
Those people do a great training. Only 30 people come in all the time.
But,
to do
and
it.
there's nothing saying you have to do it on a big class for all employees at once. You can have each department do the annual training and review on their own.
Mhm.
And
That's what I'm saying, 10, 15, 20, 30, however. many.
10, 15 minutes, you go over, you're done with it, you got it covered, you document it.
Insurance company.
They may,
And it might be a little bit more interesting. Compared to the same old voices, saying stuff.
When we change these policies, when we change, we go to the insurance company, so. They're,
All these ones we've been working on for 3 years, whatever, none of them have really officially went into effect till we get to the very end.
Right.
And then you repeal every previous policy, and then these are your new policies.
Yeah.
Right now, we haven't made any real changes.
Can I,
Trying to get it straight.
I'm so sorry. Can I ask what other broad-based trainings like sexual harassment have been a part of the annual calendar that's not specific to, say, the police department board or whatever they have to go ahead and do? Can you think of any other broad training?
Safety,
Yeah, safety. We do, all the employees get an update on gas and natural gas safety. Gas. Because we respond to everybody. So,
and we was talking about a basic CPR and
yeah, we're working on the
first aid tools.
First aid, safety, and sexual harassment.
But other than that, it's not,
There may be 400 personnel.
I'm sitting there trying to think on that, but really,
I don't really think so.
there's a lot of it falls on the department level stuff. With our training requirements. in the fire
Right,
department.
so that's why I was thinking about the broad base, so that, especially if we're talking about
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, may be great to place a number of those at the same time, just get done with it with the county or the city saying we're doing it.
Ideally, it would be anything you cover during orientation for the hire. Cover that.
Yeah, one set,
Pretty similar.
a set for public safety and a set for utilities department.
We had hours, we had.
Don't the utility folks normally cross sometimes? Cross jobs.
Right, I think the latest thing we had all together, all the utilities was 811 training, call before you dig. But like to me, the sexual harassment policy, it's like, that I recall, don't remember ever getting training, but it's like every year, hey, this is our policy. You're aware of it. You sign, you date, and that way there is you can't say that you don't know that this is our policy. So I don't know what training be available for sexual harassment. I mean, it's pretty, it should be in the policy.
Well, there's different classes where,
Yeah, let's say it's
you
not-
don't call a girl, some
It's
people
like
go crazy, or
proper
pat somebody on the
etiquette,
shoulder, I mean,
yeah.
it's like,
That's
It could take a day.
Yeah, use the social.
We don't want
media.
that.
Yeah, you could.
It's definitely like one of the things that back into it.
Mhm. It's about a 12-hour course.
I said, I don't remember ever having any sexual harassment.
But you can have a class like a 15, 20-minute class, just get down to
There may be something on YouTube.
you don't have to.
well, that's what I'm saying, the insurance people have little videos and stuff.
Yes.
If we could have
Mhm.
20 of you sign up and you watch the 15-minute video, and it's a lot, they focus on different things, different years, and then you've been updated.
You sign that.
And you sign in for sure, yeah. Absolutely, it goes in the file in case, and there was one I used to give for, anyone that handles money and personnel information, because the banks started doing it. We should be doing it. Can't remember the name of it right
It's sad in this case because it should be like policy of sticking your finger in the light socket. Just
Yeah.
don't do it. Not a 12-hour course for not sticking your finger in the light socket. But that was the easiest one. We got to move on. We got to
now. Come on, we gotta get going.
get hungry.
Uh-oh.
But what's the next one?
Affordable housing policy.
So what are we gonna do with this?
Implement it.
And then when it's all done, come back with them all cleaned up. as it's supposed to be.
I know,
Do it the previous
but
one.
this one, how are you in that?
It'll be yearly and not on their date. Oh,
Annual training and as you're hired and then annual.
Mhm.
These all us, safety, sexual harassment, I don't think should take. Every year.
This was something from 2011. Just expedite the process for affordable housing. I don't know that's ever been used.
It's for the permitting process, they,
Affordable housing.
It probably came from planning council.
or CDBG,
Yeah.
some grant probably needed it. And,
I recommend we just terminate it. Don't hold back anybody's permits. We don't have to.
Tied to something.
We'll have the number 50.
I didn't get it.
Oh, she's got,
I don't think it's up to find what affordable housing.
Yeah, what was, that's a good point. What was it? Some particular reason, some grant?
I don't know, Bob had a lot going on back in 2011. But then this last one was updated 19, so.
Without a clear definition on affordable housing, yes, everybody can come in and say their project's affordable housing.
Well, no, that's
What
it,
is it?
it's,
Federal,
it's a federal designation, and probably something to do with USDA. And might have been, we were trying to get those apartments back in there a long time ago. The CDBG is a big one for affordable, because that affordable housing is one of their components.
right,
And. But I mean, we can just, pass whatever resolution at that time with the latest verbiage when they bring it to us.
And like Bill was saying, is it might be tied to some grant application or ongoing grant that may have in the future, where you have to have this policy before you're eligible to apply.
yeah, I wouldn't just think it's going.
But we can pass it then, with the updated wording.
You could-
Generally, that the planning, whoever does it, they've got a checklist.
Yeah.
And they want to see that, well, if you don't have it, they should.
Or they want the end sexual harassment's one of them, and the thing is, they want the updated ones at that time, so they'll send you latest and greatest, and then you just run it through the agenda.
So then your suggestion is to keep it and then update it if.
I don't see them keep it, I just
I
assume.
wouldn't keep it in that policy, but keep it on file so you have to reactivate it. When you do it at that
For the
time.
policy resolution, it's easy enough to do.
I forgot, is it?
Exactly, resolutions are one meeting.
One and done.
Yeah.
So what shall we do?
Terminate.
Yeah, the problem determined.
You vote on it or just?
Gonna vote it. These are, we're gonna vote here in on all of them.
Terminate.
Consent.
What's next one, John?
Spec homes, construction, water service.
They're on construction water service. Don't expect on sale, maybe expect water service. We want. We'll change on here.
Like I said, terminate that one too. We don't do it this way. It's free water for a spec home until they get a buyer for it, well, very clear to me.
And I mean, if a contractor, we just have a lot of them work for real estate agents. I mean, we've got all kinds of relationships with different realtors and contractors like Michael Benner, whatever. And you want to put temporary water on something and they pay it for a while and they terminate it, refund it, or they have a kid with a deposit with us. And it could be on 15 different homes instead of them taking them out.
Yeah.
So-
Water service.
We accommodate them, and-
Free water meter.
but I don't even know what a spec home.
I don't have any.
It's a home they're building without a buyer yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
So why they just.
they don't even.
they do it all the time.
But they get the water and
They don't.
everything. Michael was building a house.
Most of them are built.
But if he wasn't, he would get it in his name.
Yes,
Right.
Just say you temporary free water.
no, and then, and Sonny Lawless is another one that we do that with. He pays the bills while he's building it, and then when someone buys and rents, they change it to their name and put their own deposits down.
But nobody's getting free water.
No,
Terminate.
Yes.
Terminate.
Next. Local business preference. We tried this one time, maybe twice.
we have that.
I don't think it counts, right?
No.
It's been discussed.
Recognize one.
That's what
That's a recognize all.
This one is.
Councilman Ray, this stipulation, what's your recommendation here?
Move forward. I don't know, like myself,
Yeah, I remember us talking about this.
Sometime
You're-
ago.
You're telling. We're telling them. They got a budget to live by and then same time we're telling them. Competition. But I understand why. They're
Will help us understand.
it's there to help local businesses.
You want to support your local businesses.
Right,
You want them to be here because it's the Walmart story. We go to Walmart and get all kinds of stuff under truck, but then again, sometimes we go to our hardware stores to support them. So if I can get that electrical tape for penny less at Walmart.
I feel like that should fall under our discretion, the rule here. That's part of your discretion as a local vendor, not a hard 3% number.
Because they can inflate their bid by that, knowing that they can get it.
Yep.
Or thinking that.
Yep.
I can see it was an attempt for PR.
Yep.
That city tax money is going into.
I suggest we terminate it, just use our discretion and how we award bids. Doesn't always have to be the lowest bidder.
No, it doesn't.
Or then this,
Well,
well. Say, I'm sure you probably where you live. You. What do you think?
My original thought 3 months ago was you can go back to the local business and say, do you want to match the low bidder? But that's better than choosing one over the other. And there are places that do it that way.
But it's against the law. We had discussions this morning about bids, Jamie and John. They want, you know, I don't like them.
We're not being creative, we're just asking.
You're asking questions.
There were several policies
I
out there.
give you suggestions.
Anybody within 5% of the lowest bid, they would get a chance to offer a best and final offer. They had an official accounting, BASO. Look, it's out there. There's ways to do that.
Well, we need to make that part of our purchasing policy if that's what we want to do.
there's other cities and counties that do this.
They're within, and there's some that if you're even a little bit higher but local, you have like points that
You can negotiate with them, but that's gonna be in our policy and we have to be consistent with it, because that's the importance, it's consistency and having it right.
It's gotta be on the front end.
Exactly. So if that's something you want John to work up wording on that, then let's go ahead.
Or do you want, you don't want to say,
I'm not gonna put on anything, bid and then negotiate. That's. I'll get you put in a big house.
so like Johnny's saying, keep it in mind, but don't make it a policy that you're not held.
you're seeing they really want to bid on it.
The only way we've ever seen that done is under.
Yeah, that's it.
That's where I've seen it done, when there's one bidder and one bidder only, and the bid comes in higher than your budget,
And you can say,
then you
hey,
start negotiating with that bidder to
With one bidder.
get it down. the
yeah,
way
that's
you want.
different,
That's different.
there's no competition.
As I say, that's the only time I've ever seen it done. Yes. Not saying it hasn't happened, I haven't been there.
I mean, if John could find some cities that have done it and how it cleared their legal process, then we can bring that back.
Legal process is.
So maybe we should just not add that. Or like you said, terminate it, so that you're not holding yourself to a standard that you could be considering anyway as city council, whether or not you want to accept,
How many
especially if
times,
it's a certain amount of money.
how many times has this come up?
It comes up periodically. I'm gonna say, I don't know. It used to be a lot more, because sometimes they come to the council meetings and why didn't we get this bid and,
Or puts it on Facebook. Perfect.
Well, that wasn't too popular back then, but yeah, that kind
I
of stuff.
saw that not too long ago.
Well, I'm sure it was there.
And we can do a few things. You can suspend it. You can cancel it. You can keep it. You can suspend it with the direction to come out to purchasing guidelines to include this in purchasing guideline policy itself. If that's what you want.
What this basically does, this amendment purchasing.
But what that did,
right?
yes. Without it being in the purchasing manual. This is addendum to it. It's basically what it's. But,
And there was a change for the gasoline purchase, and that was one of our.
but, you know, we're trying to be responsible physically here with the city and the citizens' money. And we've got a bid that's $2,300 cheaper than a local contractor. And we're told, well, you gotta give the local person, I'm gonna spend more citizens' money. I think that's a mixed message. You know,
I agree.
So maybe get rid of this, and if we want to get back to some future, we can.
Do it for purchasing.
Or actually, we can leave it to the business owners in the city of Perry to come back and ask you all for. Take that out of the purchasing.
On your track policy. Yeah.
I'll be in your.
This all stemmed from years ago when a lot of people were logging, or well, I say logging, were cutting down their pine trees in Pine Ridge, but they were. A company was buying the logs and leaving the tops for us to pick up. That's what this is, for us not to pick up the tops. You know, if you're gonna sell your logs, then they need to haul the tops off. That's what this is.
Yeah, that's why it came out in 19.
That's when that last building being, I guess.
Yeah, it was a while, it's been a while. It says 05, so.
Yeah.
We had a lot of issues with contractors putting those tops out there. I think, yes, I remember, if we picked them up, we charged them. I don't remember what it is, but we do have an ordinance. You know, if it's over a certain load, they're charging.
So this is double. This is double
Well,
order.
I know this from 2019 though. It's the back
That
page.
was just the,
Yeah.
Well, that's the first part.
Well, that's the history of it.
That's the history of it.
Every one of these is for you right there.
yeah, but it's just where they must have updated it.
Okay.
That's really 2005.
That's what he's doing, gotcha.
Now, I mean, I've been here for almost 30 years. They never charged any other than we did charge for pine tops, best I remember. But as far as large loads, we never charged for it. We picked it up if people had more than a truckload, we picked it up, but now we're charging more than a truckload.
Well, now with the aftermath of the hurricane.
Well, no, not right now. I'm thinking before the hurricane.
No, I was just
Yeah.
saying that, I'm guessing people are gonna be hauling out logs for time to come, right? Even after the major cleanup.
No, because FDOT's only gonna pick up
Right,
so
she's
much.
talking
of it.
about after, you know, you've been
After the
gone.
major
And we're just gonna get stuck doing it.
but thinking about this policy. Thinking about being a city resident, knowing that if somebody sells their log.
Right.
And their tops are left for the city to dispose of, that tipping fee is gonna be split by all citizens to pay. That's not fair.
But I'm gonna tell you what, how this hurt us.
Yeah.
A few years ago, a guy, he had several pine trees cut. And because of this policy, we wouldn't pick his pine tops up, so if you put the whole tree out there, we'll pick it up. So he was going to give away the logs, but because of this policy, he put the whole thing out there and then we had to pick it all up. That's the
Why
one we
did
started
we tell
really.
him?
Ma'am,
Why did we tell him that we would pick up? the-
because our policy That's how the policy
Besides
is.
the-
You don't pick up the prime tops. So if he put the whole tree out there, we picked it up. But after, which after investigation, I mean, we. Now, if they put that whole tree out there and it's more than a truckload, they're gonna have to pay picking out.
Okay.
And we do keep up with that now. The guys will not pick it up. I send them a letter telling these people. If we pick it up, you have to pay this, and you have to call us and agree to it, otherwise you're responsible for moving it.
As a
Cause
practical
that's the ordinance.
consideration,
Ma'am.
as a practical consideration, after the FDOT picks up a lot of the biggest debris, just because I don't know, maybe it's just me, it seems like there's so many trees that are broken that are gonna be coming down over time. Are you suggesting this be kept, and how would we
No.
apply it? Are you suggesting what about this specific?
I'm saying. If they had pine tops out there and it's more than a truckload, we're gonna charge them anyway. Now, after the storm, I feel like we're gonna be,
That's completely different than like.
right, that's the.
No, I mean, I understand, but I might get from what your description is, your primary way of delineating that is at the tops of trees,
Right.
right? You're not, there's no investigation
this-
going on about the logging itself,
But
right?
A tree is one thing.
Right.
Trees, several trees,
That's something else.
Yeah.
Yes.
like a tree, like it's damaged because of the storm, it comes down, it's moved side of the road, that's a tree. Or two, but if you're talking about a dozen, 6 or more trees in one location, you investigate that, you find out what the deal is.
Okay, I didn't see a delineation of numbers, I was just asking, it may not be,
What the deal could be.
It could be.
that's what
why
I'm saying,
you-
depending
that's why
on
you
your
check
yard.
into it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like, I mean, we've always used our discretion on things, and especially after something like this, we're gonna use our. I mean, there's a lot of people that still don't have their yards cleaned up. I mean, they need help with it, or,
Usually you can get 3 or 4 questions answered, you can tell what the problem is.
and these
You can address
guys,
it.
they ride these areas all the
That's right.
time, and they know. I mean, they know if it's, they put the perfectly good tree down and put it out by the road versus.
We're talking about people that work these streets every day that see what's down where and where the piles are and where the issues are.
Common sense.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You have people that clean their yard up pretty regular, and you got some that do it every 10 years.
But as far as
So,
the pine
but they-
cones, this isn't an issue we have. I mean,
That's it, terminate.
yeah, because it's
That's why I was
not,
asking
that was
why
the one
it's different
time
now.
issue we had. Back when,
And we'll just address it.
So how you handle? it should come up.
they have to.
We
They
just
I
go
would go
about
by
the route.
ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, ordinances, yeah. Well,
And here, and they're not talking about debris cleanup, it's something totally different. Right,
But they're not keeping it, so it doesn't matter.
John, does this fall under, say for instance, if someone has a rental property, cleaning that rental property out and put furniture and clothes and all that on the side of the road?
yeah,
None of that call.
all right, so we'll start following the established.
what was right, we're gonna follow.
That was the first thing we have.
Yes.
Well, it's in this thing.
Oh, is it in that one
It's
too?
in it? Okay.
But we've changed it since then,
Okay.
but I'd like to address it.
You want,
We do the whole ordinance to clean it up.
yeah, yeah.
This to terminate, let's go back to ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah,
What you're talking about,
Okay.
What you got next, John?
place the trash can.
Yeah.
This one says, any resident who misplaces or finds their can stolen will pay for replacement can. They'll have up to 6 months to pay for it.
If you can, stolen, you gotta pay for it?
What we do now, that's what it says.
And we have a lot of that here.
Cause
Long time.
you're responsible for your can. You're supposed to pull your can, you're supposed to take your can out by before 6 and
Yeah.
about 6 or something like
Yeah,
that, 6 or 7. Yeah, no later, and then pull it back no later than 7 PM on the day of your pickup. A lot of people don't. So if your can goes amiss, then you're responsible for it.
Yeah,
What about
because
people
we
that-
actually supposed to take them off the side of the road.
Yeah.
What about people that can't own it?
The hand,
We have a
we
list.
have handicapped customers, they don't pull their in. They
We
leave it
have-
at their home and our guys go. pull
I'm
their
gonna say
in.
y'all have a guy, cause I seen him in the neighborhood that he does.
How much do they cost?
These last ones are $71, and we only charge the cost of. For this.
We're not doing the breast cancer thing anymore.
Yeah,
That's
That
out of
was, we had to buy so many cans at one time and it was a struggle to get that number.
Is this a?
they sat there for years in the warehouse.
Has this happened?
It's,
It's not, it's more so when people move out, the cans are missing and they're charged for it.
Because a lot of people said they were winding up in pumpkin camps and.
Yeah, I've seen them.
You got a lot
State
behind
Road, I've
Burger
seen
King,
them in the back of the pickup.
I found them truck stands. Every once in a while I see one in the back of the truck.
But if I keep up with the garbage can numbers, if I ever, like if I'm charged per can and that number pops up, I refund their money. So, it's,
Well, that's nice.
yeah. I mean, that's only fair.
Yeah.
So and it has happened.
but eventually, unless they destroyed the camp, we usually find
Yeah,
What about the ones that with the wheels and stuff?
we replace those,
Replace
no
those.
charge.
Yeah, if they're unsightly, yeah.
Our ordinance says that the residents will pay for replacement cans, but it doesn't mention anything about 6 months to pay for it. That's really the only thing that's policy has.
Spread it out every 6 months.
We would work with somebody to do that.
Yeah, I work
Yeah.
with people
I
that
mean,
can't, most of them will just split it to 2 payments.
I would terminate this one, just stick to our ordinance.
Okay.
Or we have one.
Uh, Off hours utility retail. Last year, everybody fun.
yeah. I know we do parts of that.
This don't happen very often.
Start the timer for 30 minutes. Okay.
What do you want it to do?
I don't know, I hadn't read these last three.
We have a policy now that, and I thought it was $200, that if someone's been cut off and they like, oh, wow, I just got back to town, I forgot, they bring a money order to the fire department for $200, I think. Yeah, and then they'll call whatever utility is and have it reinstated, and then they have to come in the next
They're
day
supposed to come in the next day.
and make good on the rest of it, and if not, they get cut off. Right. But
It's very, that's very few and far between, does that happen?
but I mean,
Most people have their receipts and all that, that's.
most people do.
Where am I reading? I'm reading 100, where was it?
That's
Page
it. It's
two.
on the section. 200. Yeah, she talking about the off hours.
Yeah, and I thought it was 200, because, you know, Vin from the fire department just mentioned this stuff.
this one here. Updated my ordinance.
Oh, yeah, it's $200 now, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, I mean, that, we're still doing it.
Checks on.
So suggestions to keep it,
Well, it solves a problem because of the what ifs. Because we're not having as many problems with a lot of the customers that we did years ago. And you'll address some of that this morning where the council meetings used to sometimes be a circus. And we've really fixed a lot of that. In other words, we try to use common sense and, you know, cut people a little slack in financial office and give them the benefit of the doubt. You're messed up, bring your $200 money order, you know it's not gonna bounce, and I'll come up for the night and
But
sort it out
you
the
know,
next day.
something I was noticing, John, on this resolution, which is dated 2019, it don't even have the correct reconnect dates and all.
Well, you know, Ray drafted this, I guess, is what he was saying to me, because I was confused by everything with the 2019 date.
Right, but
Do whatever.
correct,
All these
yes,
resolutions that are attached for all period 2019.
Yes, by Ray.
yeah, but the policy,
Yeah, I don't know what Ray was doing.
There's two policies. One dated June 26, 2007, and one dated.
Right.
but.
One enacted
the-
by ordinance change October 1st.
Right.
So they had it this way originally and changed it October first.
Apparently changed all.
That's probably to the time, around the time when reconnect fees changed, it used to be $20. Right, but when you look at the resolution, it's got $60 for after hours.
Yeah,
That
resolution's-
everybody. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I,
that's wrong.
we are current, I mean, this is there. In case somebody, like they've been out of town for 3 weeks, they come in on a Friday night and they've been cut off. And then this way, what do I do? Well, here's a solution, the fire department knows it. And the guys on call, they're covered, and we got $200 of good faith money to get their water back on the weekend.
Is it written in the ordinance that whole way or just?
I don't know about an ordinance, this is the policy we made. I don't know anything other than this policy. So I
It's
think
not
we
in the
could-
ordinance.
Just the fee,
just the policy.
just the fees themselves.
It knows the fees are, but not the.
Actually, call it today.
What big problem bringing cash?
We don't want the
We don't want to
firemen to have to
take
handle cash.
So it's $200.
200, yeah, that page is wrong.
People put all kinds of things in lockbox. How do they know what they've been there? I
It's only
mean,
giving the tire and
money orders pretty easy.
200 for each utility, so if you have water, sewer, you have 400.
Or we have people, our drop box is a flat.
Is it two
I'd
hundred
say
dollars?
just well, they're not gonna have their super cut off.
The drop box.
Or the gas, there's no water.
Late cash. They just call it that gas turn off. That found cash.
So it's not per utility, it's just a $200
Also, is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what they done.
Pretty much winds up being a $2 fee.
Yeah, they take it. That they don't usually turn gas off. That's right. Now, they don't turn gas off unless it's their only utility or they're 2 months past it.
Right.
you gotta rely on the pilot house and say, hurts there.
But we have this policy to be there for that odd case because they do come up. And then you've got a solution.
With the advent of a new utility payment system,
Oh, yeah.
would somebody after hours have access to see if a payment's made online?
Worse.
And then a call can be made, reconnect.
Yeah.
So I think this honestly, policy until that software change is enacted, maybe.
Probably to train a firefighter.
Anything's possible.
They're gonna
Well,
make
at
it.
least it's not a trooper, right? I guess everybody.
Trying to get you trust them to stay in your house.
So we're gonna keep the spot for now and revisit it and.
I would like to see it count.
Okay.
It solved some problems and
I think keep it till we see if the new software change will eliminate this problem and readdress it.
Keeping the policy with the updated fees.
Updated fees.
Yeah.
Shoot.
well, the back page, the back page is one I like, the 200.
That's not what you're supposed to.
But it's
when you
not
get
each
budget.
utility.
Well, yeah, Ray's got that all wrong.
So that's what you're actually supposed to. This is what they're fees. So
Well, we can change it.
that's what I'm saying. If
We
you're
would
keeping-
adjust.
That's what
Yes,
it
so
is. It is
200.
new fees, updated.
Yeah,
What's your
but-
next one, John?
Utility bill payment expense.
Yeah, so
For us,
it don't need to be itemized, but it's just $200.
utility bills.
Utility.
This,
This one?
Utility bill payment.
Yeah, like it says off.
hey,
hours
I'm not
utility,
finding.
The back page has an updated.
Now, this is something. Which one are we doing next?
Extensions.
Oh, okay.
So that's utility consultant, this should be this one.
Okay.
Go over the chart on front page.
Yeah.
Resolution City Terry, what be your recommendation here? This one hasn't yet read it.
What are we currently doing, Danielle, with the extensions?
Well, they're doing this now.
Yeah.
But that's just till recently. They were doing that fee. It was like 2.5%.
Yeah,
They were sitting there manually figuring it and
Yeah.
then find out there was this policy they never knew about.
yeah,
Now they're following this policy,
and I don't really care which one the council wants done.
which is equal about the same.
It's
2.5%.
6, 1/2 dozen or the other. And I will say,
And I
on
get
Shirley's
your-
behalf, she doesn't like the extension. fee. So,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot better than Steve, they only got two and that was it, and we got us
and that stopped those
everything
lines.
else all in here.
That's why the finance director, they'd line up out the door. So we saw this. It's like, you want a short-term loan, here it is.
Did we change it to three extensions? Or that didn't happen?
Right now, they're giving them free extension, but
For now.
normally it's just two.
That's cause of storm is.
Correct, yeah. And then we'll bring it back to you, when we're gonna start charging late fees again and all this. Once we can read meters, things aren't estimated, and they are on Facebook saying we're stealing their.
How many meters are we unable to read, Kathy? That's gotta be a lot of.
A lot of.
There's a lot that, the trash company, they have moved a lot of debris. He actually sent me an update earlier, but there's still a lot of meters they can't read.
And then we gotta get the guys out there, and they've got, 2.5 weeks to read the whole city, and so. I kinda didn't wanna be able to go out, but a lot of people are, don't send the bill, phone calls anyway, and they're gonna be paying 2 months worth of garbage and all this and that, and it's like, well, geez. You can't win either way, so.
There's a fee type. Shouldn't it be done by ordinance? Resolution is a good idea, as ordinance, this is law, and this ordinance.
This is what it is.
Well, you're going back to the ordinance stuff, so you've set a precedent. I don't care.
It's not covered by. law.
Raising revenue, I gotta be that part.
I suggest we terminate this one, come back with it as ordinance.
And you want, and subject to change on a percentage, I think percentage is easier than looking at a stupid chart.
Don't want to do
Well, maybe it's-
1%, 2%, whatever.
They're still gonna have to put the chart, oh, percent.
They know how to use a calculator.
That's not what I'm saying. They're still gonna have to check, and see how much percent do I do.
Well, they just look at their bill. Times percent.
You're gonna have one percentage for, instead of
Extensions.
5 or 6 percentages to choose from, that's what I'm saying.
Like a flat fee.
That's what I'm talking about, flat fee. Or they're just a percentage of the bill, and that's,
So that's what I'm saying, we have to establish a percentage, not have 5 or 6 to go that, oh, well, the deal is this much, I gotta do this percentage on it. You
yeah,
still
just
have to
one
check.
percentage,
Okay.
flat,
Okay,
yeah. If it's $100 or
that
it's
makes
$10.
Chart when you're down.
And that's good input, and I think Shirley's gonna wanna have input on how much it is too, so
a percentage.
Yeah, 'cause this is a bit right.
don't care, whatever you folks want.
Surely one of the flat fee, I think.
Well, we've got a flat $10 fee. For extensions.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna get rid of this, come back to the ordinance.
Yeah, get rid of this as a policy resolution, come back to the ordinance, but what do y'all want me to come back with in the ordinance?
What do you want us to do in the meantime?
That's what I'm saying.
$10.
But you said they're already doing this, they just didn't know that there was a resolution.
We were doing a percentage, and then for some reason, I don't know where the communication broke down, but then this fee passed and.
what are the fees now, I mean, what's an average?
So Daniel, what are they looking at, this chart when they do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this makes it a lot easier. It's quicker now. It's a lot quicker. Before, you're having to, my bill's
Okay, so they're like
17,
the chart.
23, you have to times it by 2.5%.
We'll just stick with the chart, John.
Let's stick with the chart.
Chart.
Start,
Let's use the chart now until.
So you're
You'll
gonna,
change it.
you're gonna leave this in take until an ordinance.
Yes,
Yeah,
if you read right here, duly adopted on the 27th of May 2007 as a resolution.
Yeah.
So this is a resolution, man. Leave it alone as it is,
yeah, it's a resolution.
that's what they
Okay.
said.
come back
So
after.
it's not even, it's not, why is it in policies then?
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Remember, somebody handed a file on all.
Correct, Ray was trying, okay, this is a resolution, so we don't have to worry about it. It's good to go.
So keep it or?
They're gonna keep it, but they have to get an ordinance.
We're-
So they are gonna do it in an ordinance.
Well,
On the rate list, it's being turned.
Okay.
Oh, it is?
Chocolate.
I know, well,
They gave us
It's just not.
but you remember,
resolution.
Ray
Never
involved.
seen that shape with us.
I know you don't.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll get
It's
it.
not in- it's not an ordinance itself.
Hold on, I'm
So what do you want?
we got several conversations going on.
I was asking, because he was mentioning termination and keeping study.
Terminate and raise resolution, whatever it is, number 2019 hadn't been signed or anything. Keeping resolution 2008 03
That's it.
is what we're actually doing right now.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna come back another meeting and do that ordinance.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn it on.
Sounds good?
This is gonna be a split,
Yeah, exactly.
okay. All right, the last one. Utility policy.
Utility consumption dispute.
This is something that we've corrected, and we don't have these council meetings that are sideshows of angry customers talking about the employees being all this and that. It, you know, we can't say things, but sometimes they would be. You get irate people going on for an hour.
Which one is it?
Yeah, this policy is presented by unanimous vote of the city council, the regular meeting held in 1996.
Yeah,
So,
probably signed by Bill. Yeah.
say what?
It says,
Dennis was on the council then.
uh-huh.
So we got.
Board
rescinded
look at
by-
Fred Scott. But, you don't wanna go back to that where. Let's see here, water, temperature, problems, restating that. If there's a leak in a customer's residence, the customer must provide documentation to the city that the leak's been repaired. This is what we currently do. An average of the customer's last 6 months charge is used to determine that month's bill. An adjustment of customer's account will then be based on this average. That's exactly what we're doing, and it works wonderfully. And also, if you know, I'm allowed to waive fees, so if it's a crazy thing, I'll like waive the sewer fees. If it was someone running a hose because it didn't get treated in plan.
The main thing you want,
Yes.
Yeah.
We
So it doesn't,
we send them out for check, make sure that children.
so we try to use common sense, because if they find that some hose was running, you know, it's like, okay, I'll waive the sewer fees, you know.
Well,
Well, one of my properties, I had to turn my water off at the meter because I had somebody next to the dog park coming over, opening up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dogs, leaving it running and.
People think it's funny too, and it's vandalism, it's teenagers.
I had a situation this week, last week. I had some, right after the storm, I had some men there clearing the really big debris, putting it out front. And the water pipe at the end of my carport was up pretty high. And they knocked it off. And so the water is gushing out. And I sent them, or they went up to find the meter to cut it off. And they couldn't find the meter because of the trash that was there. So it ran for a while. They finally found the meter, they cut it off, and he said, I promise you, as soon as the hardware store's open, I'll come back and fix it. And he did. And he didn't charge me anything for it because he messed it up. So when I called the city, my bill was $142.33.
Plus, it was probably estimated too.
It was.
Yeah.
But normally it runs just a little over 100.
Yeah, our computer doesn't know how to
111,
estimate.
127, those were the two before, which an average would have been 119. And I explained all that to Diane, and she said, well, do you have a receipt where you paid? No, because it was his fault. I didn't have a receipt, didn't cost me anything. But I'm being charged for water that I didn't really use.
You won't be just called.
I'm gonna tell you something, buddy,
Yeah.
but them girls. Well, they're new, but they've always been, I hate to say, afraid, like they think it's been ingrained in them, they've got to have that receipt. And if they don't have that receipt,
Yeah.
they won't, you've got to
Then
try
you
to.
prefer it up to me then, I mean,
Or
you're
either choose the, right,
That's all they gotta do.
Like that, so, because a lot of people get told that, and then people will call me because they know me and anyway.
Or I'd say, Diane, go buy yourself a plunge and drink this.
I gotta break, I gotta break it.
Good,
I used to handle my own, things when.
Right, and there are people, that's what we had one not too long ago, they had plumbing supplies at their home, but they used.
Of course.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
keep
want to
this
do it
about
for
stuff
this
back east.
because of it.
Well, it just, I guess it comes
I
down,
told them to give them.
She's only doing what they're told to do.
yes,
And that's what the policy, you just read it, that's what it says that there is.
I
But
can
we,
bring it to you.
but you just have to ask her, go up the chain, and I'm more than happy to use comments. And our water guy's been, if Andrew was here, he'd tell you, he's been waiting for this since the storm with all the claws picking up. Yours wasn't the only one that's gotten busted or been busted, so this is not a new story.
I'm just waiting for our street when they start picking up all the underground utility boxes.
Yep.
Underground.
Underground sprinkler systems, we're waiting for all of it, it's just, what a mess.
Comcast ain't done.
Exactly, yeah.
What about if somebody, like, I gave you this idea, what to take a picture of your date
Well,
and time.
they're gonna send them out anyway to see if the meter's leaking or not, so you can tell if it's fixed, that's.
That's what we do, is we send them, and if it's not leaking anymore, problem solved. And we'll tell
But
them,
they won't send them out until they get a copy of that receipt, that's what I'm saying, you need to talk to them.
well, they're just new, and I'm sure Raven can tell them that, just aren't asking. But she's a call the book first.
Yeah.
because the problem is, because I want to go.
Yeah.
You can say that this council member just got in a meeting, said, she doesn't have to buy by the policy, call any way that fee and everybody. fine.
I'll do it for anybody. Anybody can have an intelligent discussion saying, you can tell some, I've had them come up and say,
Everybody's gonna say, that's what.
Yeah, it comes down to a matter of trust when you do it that way. I understand.
But if you're gonna have a policy, it's gonna have exception to fee, you just say, wait.
but it's also, well, you look at it, it's just like, waiving fees, but if you don't have good credit with us or something, you look at someone's history.
Yes.
I didn't have that and I
This
guess,
time it's not.
I had it, but I went from like, I don't know how my water bill was, but one time I had like 1,500 gallons. It went from like zero, and I was just like, what is going on? There was no waiving of fees, there was like that, like it was several months of crazy increase. But maybe I
Did
did
it go down on its own or fix the problem?
We just kept looking for any type of leak, and then I have like a spigot in the back of my yard. I guess one of those vandals was like turning on the water, but it was crazy. Like my average was probably like 30, maybe. It was crazy small. Like I didn't even have a washing machine at the time. It went from that to 1,500 gallons or 15,000.
Thousand probably. That's what I'm saying, is you can
15,000.
look at a house's usage and you can figure it out, and things like that happen.
But
Yeah,
I
I
paid my,
It's the Lord used to be very good about that. When she was doing the bills, and she seen it in the jump tremendously like that, she would be phone call.
Exactly.
I guess the thing that really got me was that she said when they can read the meters again and find the actual usage, then it will all come out. No, it won't, because I would never get credit for the wasted water.
And I've had emails like that, and I said, when you get a good reading, once the files are picked up, contact me and we'll make an adjustment as needed. You're not gonna be the only person calling me that. I mean, it's just a case by case basis.
Well, I understand, I'm just saying,
And your story is the other guy fixed it, like some candy guy who says, I had parts, and I says, I hit it. And you're only gonna get away with it once, Diane.
I don't,
Gonna let you get away with it
I
once.
don't want favoritism.
It's not because I know you, it's just the situation is logical.
But that's,
This right here, yeah, not this. This right here. I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's got.
it says, I'll drop off 22, but
He's commingled so many things on
that's
there.
what he's added all this in the
Well,
one.
just don't worry about it, just stick with what we got, the water utility policy.
When was that?
This. I don't know, it's going,
Is, if you draw 42 off there, every time. For utility usage, customer has a problem, customer provide documentation to the city as well as.
okay,
After that. The city may make an adjustment to customer account, and within the last 6 months.
so we're doing it.
Customer has a right to appeal to the city council. To request an adjustment, the city staff reviews the request. A resident disputes any fee being charged, the city will write the resident letter informing them of their right to appeal to the city council, either in person or at a city council meeting, or by letter to the city council.
That's not in there.
If after review, the city council determines that the fee should be paid, the resident will be notified of the city council's actions, and the refusal to pay the fee will result in non-payment being turned over to the collection agency. So that, this is what our policy we're saying yes or no to.
Oh, so he wants it clear that they can appeal to the city.
Because that's what was in the old stuff from 96, so he incorporated all of them. In the May 28th, 96, that's what this was about, and that's back when the meetings were. You know, because you get in here and you get people, well, I have 5 kids and this and that.
So where are we now? What's the policy now?
I'm saying. This is what we're doing, and this is what works. I can't help but Ray didn't synthesize the two.
Proof of repairs and an adjustment.
And then nothing more about that.
Not
because-
receipts, just proof of repairs.
And you all have had calls, the city council gets phone calls,
Oh, I get them all the time.
Yeah. and we try
I
to,
like that too, because if somebody uses 3,000 every month consistently, then all of a sudden it jumps up to 25,000 and they say they made a repair. You go back out there and it's not showing a leak, then the repair's been made.
And I bring you a shower valve that's obviously in disrepair and this meter's not spinning anymore, then it's repaired. Just proof of repair.
That's it.
The way it's written, it says provide documentation.
Yeah, and they need to.
yeah,
We don't need to go by word of mouth.
What about
Provide some kind of proof.
but every once in a blue moon, you have to go by word of mouth. Extenuate on certain costs, like, again, stick it, it's happening already.
Do a full yes. And they
So
call.
the documentation should update it.
What about the appeal to the city council and all that stuff?
That's.
So like, do you all like to appeal?
I want them to always know it's an open door policy. I don't want them to tear them and think that they can't come here and come talk to us. No.
So you like the idea of doing
Yes.
appeal policy?
Well, then,
That'd be
that's
clear.
something we not need an appeal form for them girls to give to the customers.
Well, then if someone needs to tell us what they want to have on that.
And
Well,
that
the
is,
code enforcement has an appeal form that just said, yeah, that wants to appeal and blah, 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 and it tells them in the next meeting.
as our newspaper man just mentioned, he asked about a pool. Well, if you have a pool you're gonna fill and you call and say, I'm gonna fill a pool, they'll read a meter and won't apply any wastewater charges to your bill. On fill the pool,
That's correct.
but we just, and call when you're done, so, but we have to let citizens know that's an option, so that they.
Yeah,
Know what size the pool is.
Yeah.
Well, we just take it before and after
Yeah,
meter reading,
meter
and
reading,
we
yeah.
adjust
Go from
off
there.
on the sewer deal,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and
Unless
most
they
pool
do.
owners know that.
Yeah, but I do mine every summer. I used to call Mr.
Yeah.
Lewis and she would adjust it.
And it's easy to do, just.
Don't keep it, I'm striking 1 and 2 and just use for utility usage. Yeah, for water usage, we would just do, no need for it. But then keep it as is after you strike 1 and 2. That's all.
Great job. Just 3 years later.
All right. Well, we can get there.
Which one?
So we either that does too.
I'm trying to speak to the
Everybody done? Agenda item 6C, approval of minutes. September 5th, 2023 workshop session.
motion to approve.
Is that all of them or just?
That's just.
Just that one had to do with just one of
Yeah, we
them.
got September 5th, 2023 workshop, September 13th, 2023 regular session. September 22nd, 2023 special session, and September 26th regular session.
I didn't find a problem with any of them, so you wanna make the motion to approve all of them, fine.
Is that a motion?
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Landry?
Yes.
Councilmember Whipple?
Yes.
Chair Ketchum?
Yes. Two staff. Anyone?
I've got a couple of things. I won't really let Mr. Ryan know that the 4 to 6 employees that were working on the street sign that you saw was actually 3 employees, and it was the crew leader showing 2 guys that normally drive trash trucks how to do those brackets and work on those brackets. That's what they were doing when you saw them that day. Another thing is Thomas Dent's Lane. I'm working on getting that striped. He's supposed to do it within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
The trash removal is going good. He sent me a text. They've got, zone 1, which is the northwest side of town, your area, Miss Landry, should be soon. They have not started it yet. But a lot of the zones, they have either started with the cutting and trimming or have started with the picking up debris, and some have completed their first pass.
Yeah, they came out this week and
And
got some
yeah,
hangers
yeah.
down.
The new trash trucks that were ordered, the gentleman actually stopped by today. We're expecting one of them the 1st of January,
Yay.
and the second one in March or April.
It's the plow trucks.
Yes.
So we just have to pay for one to start with.
Right,
Good. Good. Staggered.
That's all I got.
I had one of my guys ask me, you know, apparently someone in Pine Ridge asked him. We got, I don't know if we have official easements, but we have like sewer lines. The debris that's on the easements. You know, if we don't have a technical easement, it's private property. Who's picking up that debris?
Some of those
Well,
alleyways.
We have, I'm almost positive, he called me about that today. I'm positive we have an easement, but the easement's different than an alley. The homeowner's responsible for the easement. The issue is there's valves and stuff that this debris is on top of, so who, you know, they're asking, are we gonna move it so we can get to our valves, or did the homeowners need to move it?
You talking about those alleyways like
Yeah.
Ridge Road, Pine Tree, Seminole? and
It's easements,
those.
it's not alleys, you know, it's utility easement.
So that's where the sewer line is going now.
Some of them, yes, sir.
Well, everybody else moved their utilities out.
It's, well, like, you know, I don't know the exact road off the top of my head, but you know, like Ridge Road, Pine Tree.
Yeah.
The utilities aren't in front of the houses, they're in the backyards. And
Well, the power and the cable did make yours up.
Yeah.
The underground did. But anyway, yeah, so they were though for 80 years. Down the alleyway.
but we
Well, I
still,
call it an alleyway.
we still have sewer, water. And, you know, it's like we do need to get to it.
For natural gas running.
I think some of. Yeah. So, like I say, I think a customer asked one of my guys, so that was today, right?
Have you read that? Either?
I haven't, I'm on, this was
Here,
late this
here, I'm
afternoon.
thinking, why would I give? I've got to maintain it.
This was a question before, and when we looked at it before,
Hey, look,
we looked at it a year or two ago, and not been longer than that. Cause it was something to do with Duke Energy and,
It was a 30 foot, it's 30,
yeah,
they're 30 foot east, or the other 30
it's the
foot east.
easement, it's not. an
15 on
alley.
the back each yard.
I would think you got a contractor to clean that up.
That's the thing, they won't go on private property, I think that's what they said.
They won't, that's, yeah,
And the problem is it's DOT that's hiring the contractor. And they won't go on private property.
Well, if it's an easement, is it considered private property or is it city?
An easement, those people pay taxes on that property, you just have an easement for your lines is all.
A right
Right, a right to. right.
If the homeowner was to clean that easement up and damage the infrastructure, that would be different. Who's gonna repair that infrastructure?
Valves get run over all the time out there, like if somebody's cutting down a tree or whatever. So we usually fix it.
Telling us costly.
I'd read that easement closely. Also, they could just move it out to the road. And I'll say this, that contractor does not know whether he's on private property or not. They told me before they took the cable down. The edge pavement is what they consider. And as far as it can reach, other than that. And some of this stuff is close to fences. But it's not private property, but they won't touch it.
There's some right of ways that are 20 foot off the edge of the pavement.
I know. Or more. There. Oh, DOT is the one that is making the fortune of it. Those trucks are they're halfway full. They don't pack that in.
Some of the black ones.
Yeah.
Well, they don't.
They don't.
Big trucks.
Well, they work, they like to snatch the traffic light down the center and bring.
I was so worried when they got over there.
They hit it,
Warner
I know,
Ave.
4 times.
They don't compact it like we would.
Nope.
And the brake hunters aren't getting up and looking at the truck
Right.
either, they're just watching. around. Leave that.
That just, and when it reaches that imaginary line, they stop
Halfway.
halfway.
Eight by the load.
Yeah. Wow.
Why?
No,
Because,
no, I said, wow. So,
oh, I thought, why? Because they get paid by the
More money.
yard.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
paid by the car.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I'm just dealing with FEMA. They
How's
can't
that
figure
going?
on us on what rec we have. You're supposed to have an in-person meeting with all of our supers to talk about all our damages here in the city and that person said, well, we're not gonna be doing you, and then nobody ever said anything. That's finally I sent emails out and I got the county person. So, but they're getting new people in all the time and they'll give us a really good one.
Contact Thomas
Well, we've got a contact, you know, so
and
Tallahassee's not. There's a FEMA person in charge of Taylor County and she spoke with me personally and sent emails and we're gonna go ahead and have this meeting next week. I sent y'all emails. We'll see how that works.
Mr. Bill?
That is it. That's be quiet.
Mr. Dagger?
About time.
yeah.
Put that in the paper.
On the garbage deal, did we get the
December 1. They're gonna start. December.
yeah, but you wanted a bond. Did
We
you
got
get a
it.
bond? Okay.
And I let everybody know. Except you, I guess.
Okay, and where are we on the street lights? I know you're gonna check with, Duke to see if they would, if we could lease them instead of buy or whatever, what's the.
We had a meeting.
Last week.
Last week,
You talking about the downtown?
the downtown lights. And he said that possibly, and they've got several models to pick from. He said he wants to see these lights because they might be worth refurbishing and just putting a head on them. And I haven't a clue and he doesn't either. And where are we? Gonna get back to us.
Wait on you.
Waiting on Duke.
Okay, and I saw somewhere where we would get more light, we would lower the pole, lower them a little bit.
Well, or the way it angles down too, because I guess a big fad in lighting is, or with green peoples, you don't light up for light pollution. You focus them down. And I said, I just want cheap. I want cheap because I'm the finance director. That's my solution. I said, I don't think we have a lot of greenies around here that, I said, I agree with,
I want to
heard-
be able to see.
Yeah, that's what I said. We want-
See.
we want illumination.
Yeah.
We want illumination and we want something that looks presentable.
It's for the start.
It's, yeah. Well, go out in the country then.
Okay.
Drive 3 blocks the other way.
And what are we paying to rent this room?
No, the insurance is paying for it.
Insurance is paying.
Mhm.
Okay,
So you're paying whatever your increase is.
Exactly.
Mhm.
well, I saw somewhere where we were paying. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there and I'll probably get shot, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
No, please.
Would it help if we moved trash pickup to 1 day a week instead of 2? I mean, garbage, yeah, garbage. I'm
Some
sorry.
people wouldn't matter, some people it's gonna matter.
Yeah, some people,
Yeah.
it's not gonna matter. Some people
It's gonna
want more
matter.
than what we give them.
Okay, so if they want more, we give them 2 cans instead of 1 or
They have
3.
to pay
They
for it.
have to pay for it.
Cause we do have a few that they actually pay for 2 cans.
Okay. My sister lives in a small town in Tennessee, and they do once a week. They bought 2 cans, or got 2 cans when they built the house. They've never used a second can. And this is a husband, a wife, 2 children, and the grandmother. So, I mean, it seems to me we would save a lot.
It used to be on our budget, cafeteria plan. I'm sure you two remember seeing go to once a week garbage because it would be a bit of a savings in freeing up the people to do other tasks.
Yeah, exactly.
But it will also leave the certain neighborhoods gonna look a mess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you're gonna have dogs that's gonna get a hold
That's
of the
the other
trash.
side.
There's a lot of
And-
people,
Yes.
I deal with them on the phone.
Mhm.
If you don't, if their garbage overflows, they're gonna put it out by their own can and you're gonna pick it up.
Well, for instance,
That's what
you
they
got
tell me.
a
I mean, you
a
won't,
baby with diapers, you're gonna have a bag a day. At my age, I've got a bag every week, 1 bag, you know what I mean? It's a lot different than.
I know, that she has 2 small children.
Yeah.
The daughter does, and
yeah.
diapers, and they only use the 1 can. I don't know, maybe their cans are bigger than ours. I don't know.
That's a good size.
I know we do. I know we do.
But
My-
that's
my
been looked at
household-
But
before
people
in
are
the
not
town.
gonna wanna pay 2 cans versus.
No,
you
they
know,
barely
They're
wanna pay
gonna,
for the
they're
water.
gonna come to all and.
We don't want the rate to get cut
Mhm.
Typically a charge.
Yeah.
I mean, would that be-
And that would be
Now,
hard
what
for
do
y'all.
you do, like a Monday pickup, like Monday and Thursday customers, Monday is usually heavier than Thursday, Tuesday's heavier than Friday, so. On Thursday and Fridays are lighter days.
Yeah. Weekends, 4 days.
But yeah, that's been for budget,
That's what I was thinking
Mentions.
about.
But would it
Like you
free
said.
up the public works department greatly to work on other things?
It would free up.
Yeah.
But are those men gonna be able to come out there and clean up that trash? It's gonna be all over the highway.
They already don't.
Will it add more work in the?
In certain, that's what I'm saying, in certain
I
areas
know.
that would work, but
Oh, I
some
know.
areas it's not gonna work.
Correct.
You will have trash piled up all on the side of the road, then your dog's gonna. And they're gonna pull it everywhere.
Wish it would work.
Where your little kitty cat.
The only thing that was mentioned one time with this issue is having like 2 rates. If you wanted 1-time pickup or versus 2-time pickup, but you'd have to have different color cans, because there's no way for our guys.
Yeah, that was a
No.
Taylor idea,
But
yeah.
then the issue with that is, you know, can get stolen or, you
Mhm.
know, then anyway.
And people stuff their garbage in their neighbors because he's a single guy, you know, and it's just all kinds of silly
Oh, I've never
things.
done that
Have a
I bet you
neighbor
have more.
for the
that
record.
deals with that.
You can tell he do something.
You think probably people don't look at their neighbor, somebody puts trash in their can.
I've gotten phone calls because I keep my can neat and your guys are moving it down the road so they don't have to physically do it. It's just like, I'm sorry, man.
Several ideas, we want maybe brainstorm on this, and come back with some ideas on it.
About reviewing possible changing the pickup.
Maybe check some other towns, maybe doing the same thing. I don't know if there's other towns doing it or not. I'm sorry, there are.
Oh, tons of-
There are.
I think Jacksonville does one.
But every time we presented that at the budget time is one of your options to cut, you know.
Well, there was one time the city did it 6 days.
Oh, I used to work Saturdays.
Say what?
They used to
Every
work
day?
Saturdays.
Wow.
Is that back when they had the centipede trucks? Or is that,
When you had the guy rolling.
Rolling, they were rolling.
that's what I mean, the centipede trucks.
Yeah.
They were like centipedes, like they had dumpsters on them.
And then when we went to city supply trash cans for metal cans, that freed up a lot of trash. That was late '90s. That was a major change. People walked about it.
You could have like a Jeep.
Yeah.
And pull 3 or 4 trailers behind it.
Yeah, they were dumpsters with axles under them.
Yeah.
They looked like a centipede. It was kind of cool the way they followed each other. Yep. Y'all check around.
I do one day with pops.
There.
I do one day with pops.
It's your fault.
And they still play on it. Or.
Yeah.
He's honest.
Anyway, so y'all just want to bring back some ideas of what y'all found in other places.
I know.
Other places.
Diane probably does, for sure.
Well, I mean,
It's
I'm
worth-
just trying to say on the budget, if it's worth looking into, look into it. If you don't think it is, don't do it.
I mean, we have looked into it before, and it's money and time saver, so it solves problems. Yeah.
One thing that would help is if people would only pull their can out when needed. The issue now is everybody puts their cans out and we don't know if they're full or not. Just enforcing that ordinance.
So that's the thing. I personally did not know that we were supposed to be pulling.
Yeah.
This is something
Oh, I
I'm
know.
just, so I know, I guess what you're saying. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
That's your house.
It's not my property, is that my?
I hadn't seen it either. But now,
I didn't pull them anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know it myself.
You just take your trash out and go.
There's your number.
Yeah, I get on my Polaris and ride out and ride it.
It's
I
in
put
front
it
of my
on
house.
Facebook, but I mean, people are not on, we sent letters to a subdivision one time because people wanted, you know, to look at their neighborhood, and I'm not gonna mention neighborhoods, and it still won't work. I mean.
Yep.
We need one person. That would be a full-time job for one person going around.
Code enforcement.
Look, you tell
Maybe
me
we can
what,
make that.
tell me what the fee is.
There's
before
another
I-
there, I'm superintendent, I already had enough.
Oh,
Well,
we do
you get a
that.
warning.
You ever see
And
that?
then after that,
I
There's a
literally
fee
know.
for it.
So when it- so when it
Yeah,
rains,
we can set a fee on that one. It's ours.
you're supposed to pull it up to
We'll
your.
never get out of the meetings.
Or at least in your yard.
It's in the yard,
That's city property.
We're paying about that over this
right
range.
there.
I got a guy that would write the ticket. That's
Oh,
not a big deal.
He would,
Oh, he likes to.
with no problem.
Anyway,
Hey, we're getting them up.
yeah, thanks for later.
I had something else, but I wrote it down, so.
The bills that's come out kind of high.
Oh, yes.
I've heard that way more than once.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier.
She said it, expected. She did say
And,
that.
and we even called the computer company, they swore that it was gonna be fixed, and I said, no, it's not, cause I knew how you are. And Danielle and Raven tried, and So it is what it is, and the next bill hopefully will be read correctly.
I know a lot of people that I've dealt with have been very understanding, tell them, the situation and behind it. They've been very understanding, we've got a few that's not, but a lot of people have been very understanding. They're mad at first, and they blasted us on Facebook, but once explain it to them.
I think some of it there, because don't have a few big generators in the gas system.
Yeah, generators, these people,
Maybe forgot the generators.
yeah, well, they haven't got those bills yet, that's.
Yeah, because they weren't, the meters weren't read, but
But they're gonna get that.
They're
bill
gonna get it.
Cause I've been, you're gonna be surprised if you got a generator.
and I told people too, when they ask me, just pay what you normally pay, we're not gonna cut anybody off, there's no rate. So if you pay 100 last month, pay 100 this month.
Are we gonna do late fees again, or waive late fees again this month, or keep?
We won't charge them until we bring it back to you. Because we can't do late fees until we read the bloody meters, I mean, let's get things first,
Gotta get everything cleaned up.
Sonny got his generator bill.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's Generac.
Take a shot.
He has generators, I did not know.
He puts.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, anyway,
It's only talking.
that's all I had. Anybody have anything
Yes.
else?
Don't spread it.
Just go eat.
All right.
Do away with it.
No need, no. Actually, on national gas, it's better instead of, whatever, like, that's up for land. They were spraying for order. And let them, she didn't get in trouble. Out in rural areas, they don't have Generacs. So Tammy Gerard was one of them. And so now they. Yeah, they're gonna trust them. They're a little scrawny.
Thank you.
You like the thoughts.
Well, that's what happened. My